We're here at this lovely villa in Montego Bay, Kenyan sunset.
Isn't it beautiful? It is absolutely stunning.
It's gorgeous. Look at
the view to the sea is incredible.
Yes, it's pretty. Really,
yes.
You should see the sunset from here. So I have with me today a creative dynamo, a mother, a wife, and a philanthropist. Welcome, Habari.
Muzuri, Asante sana.
Thank you. All right, Mystic Thai has provided some lovely food for us today. Can we just dive in?
This looks delicious, yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So PJ, do you have a favorite dish? I tend to have some too.
Well, Mystic Thai is one of my favorite restaurants, I have to say. The food is absolutely delicious, and they're doing so well in Kingston now, which is great. But I just kind of like food generally.
Can I help you to some?
I'm going to get there in just 1 minute.
All right. So here we have some lovely.
Those look like garlic mushrooms.
Garlic mushroom is right. Pepper shrimp. We have spring rolls, and we have garlic naan.
Beautiful. And a glass of wine to go with it.
And a glass of wine. Cheers.
Cheers, cheers.
Tell me something, PJ. You're from England. You were born in England.
I was born in England, but ironically, I grew up in Kenya. Okay. So it's just amazing that we're here.
It's such a coincidence.
I hear the original owners came from Kenya. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm, they are.
Really interesting.
And look at the property. Look at the lush gardens.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lovely.
It is nice.
Yes, I grew up in Kenya and lived there till I was about 10, 11, I think. Mm-hmm. And then moved back to England. And then way down the line, when I was the old age of 26, I came to Jamaica.
Old. That's not old. That's young.
Well, yes. Yes, it was, but I never planned to be here this long. I've been here over 50 years now.
Tell me a little bit about growing up in Kenya.
It was very wild. Going back to England after living in Kenya was shocking because we used to run, we never wore shoes. We used to run everywhere, and we were way out in the bush in the country.
So it's kind of like Jamaica, like
very like
my
Jamaica.
Small days.
Oh. When I came to Jamaica, it felt like coming home. It really did, because of growing up in Kenya. And I had 3 sisters, so we were 4 girls, and there wasn't an ounce of femininity in the tribe.
Oh, so you were like tomboys.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was incredible. It's a wonderful way to be raised. Yeah.
Quite similar to my growing up.
Yeah? Where did you start life?
I grew up in Cornwall Mountain, which is in Westmoreland, central Westmoreland. I'm the only child, girl child.
And you were the only girl?
So I was a tomboy too.
Was it hard being the only girl, or were you spoiled?
I was spoiled, yes. I must say. Yeah, they'll take me everywhere. They'll put me on their back, bird shooting, all of that. Yes.
I can't really envisage you being a tomboy, but if you say so, then
yes, I was.
So be it, yes.
All right, tell me something, PJ. What really brought you to Jamaica?
A number of things. I'd been teaching in a school of art in London, and I had taught for 4 years.
So you're an artist, you're a painter.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
I am.
Cool.
And at the end of my 4-year contract, I just decided that I would really like to have a break and go exploring, doing what some people call a gap year, but doing it after working rather than before working.
Oh, okay.
And I had some lovely friends who owned Club Caribbean in Jamaica, and Richard Sam had asked me if I would come over and help him with redesigning the lobby of the hotel.
Oh, okay.
And it just, timing-wise, it just worked well because I'd finished my contract, and so I said yes. So I came here for 3 months, and that was about 55 years ago.
Oh, so what kept you here? Your hair now.
Or who?
Who? Correct, correct. Who?
No, I absolutely, like everybody, I fell in love with Jamaica. It was, for me, it was so refreshing after being in London. I loved London, but London was, I'd gone through the 60s, which were very creative and very exciting, and Mary Quant and the Beatles and all of the emergent culture of the 60s, which was great. But then it became a little, to me, it became a little bit fake.
Oh, okay.
And I just wanted to get back to something more solid, more basic. And I found that in Jamaica. I found Jamaica so real and so in your face, and nothing fake about it.
But you still didn't tell me who kept you here.
Well,
PJ.
I wonder who was that. I believe
Tell
you guessing
us.
where. No,
Tell
I actually
us.
met Butch, who became my husband, the second day I was here.
Right. Oh.
Which was interesting because I didn't understand a word that he said, because in those days his accent was so thick. But he was an amazing man, and many people realize that, and he had a great sense of humor, which was lovely.
That's a keeper.
And absolutely.
That's a keeper.
Absolutely. So between that and I worked at the School of Art in Kingston. About 7 or 8 years, I can't remember. But that was challenging, but that was very exciting as well.
It sounds like.
It was under Jerry Craig in those days, who himself was an artist, and it was wonderful. And then we started Sandals, and so there was a lot of work to do with that. And well, when I say we, Butch started Sandals.
Because my question was,
yes.
Were you there at the initial stage?
Absolutely. And Sandals started the day the year my son was born, in
Which
81.
of them?
Adam.
Adam,
Yeah.
okay, that's Adam Stewart.
Yeah.
The Adam Stewart.
The naughty boy Adam Stewart.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes, that's when, the same year that Sandals took off. And
Okay.
everybody, we'd all been through the 70s, and people were very apprehensive about the future, and communism was coming, and all sorts of things were poor Jamaica was going to go down the drain, and of course it never did, because Jamaicans are so resilient.
PJ, what's your favorite place in Jamaica? You've been all around, 14 parishes.
Wow, each parish has its own spot. I mean, I love the greenness of Portland.
Right.
I've never, unlike many people, I've never been a great lover of the South Coast, only because it's dry and sparse.
Okay, in parts.
In parts, yes. And I love the cities. I love Kingston and Montego Bay.
Oh, okay.
Two completely different cities.
See, I'm a little bit like you.
Yes.
I'm a country girl from Westmoreland, but I kind of like the city myself.
Right.
And I always wanting to live in this area, Spring Farm.
Right.
And I tell you
This is
why.
gorgeous.
I tell you why. It lends the country feel, because there's acreage of land that you actually will own if you purchase a house there.
Yes.
So you could do your backyard garden, and you're close to everything, like all the major shopping area in Montego Bay.
Right.
So you're enjoying city life and country life.
Yes.
So that's why I so love that area in Jamaica.
Yes.
Spring Farm.
It's true. And also with all the bypasses and highways that have been introduced in the last 10 years, if not more, and it's still happening now. It's sorting out a lot of the congestion and the difficulty of getting from one side of Montego Bay to the other side, for example. And it's so easy to go from Montego Bay to Kingston now.
Right.
And a beautiful drive, absolutely beautiful drive.
That is correct. That is correct. What inspired you pretty much to become an artist and a theatrical director?
Designer,
sorry.
Well, I couldn't type and I couldn't add up, so there wasn't much else I could do when I was little.
Oh.
No, I loved painting. I loved working with them. Funny enough, I see it in my grandchildren. They're very tactile. They love using paintbrushes and paint and gum and glue and things. And that was just always my thing. And I studied it, and then I went on, as I told you earlier, to teach. And then I went from there to, I'm still painting all the time, but I also went from there to doing set design. I work with Father Holang, and who has a theatre company. And we traveled to, we were in Kingston, but we've been to the Philippines, we've been to Germany and London and Canada and California with productions. And that was challenging because you're dealing with an international audience, but very exciting. It was a whole new, I had to learn very fast because I really knew nothing about it.
Oh, okay.
But I worked with some wonderful people, Jamaicans.
Oh.
Also our director was from Dominica.
Oh, okay.
Owen Bully, who was a very well-known director. And so I kind of kept learning and learning. And now I'm mostly back to painting and doing three-dimensional work as well.
All right, good. All right, I don't know if you mind sharing, but is there because you mentioned about your husband, is there a special moment or memory that you won't mind sharing with me, if you can remember?
Well, obviously there's a lifetime, there's plenty of moments and things. The one thing that when you said that, that popped into my mind was, because I think I mentioned earlier, when I first met him, he had such a heavy patois accent.
Oh,
he actually couldn't speak. It's only when he went into tourism that he kind of started speaking a little more coherently. And I remember when my mom first met him, and she was a very English lady, and she said, "I'm a little worried, darling, about Butch." And I said, "Well, what's wrong with him?" And she said, he calls everybody darling. Is he gay?
So that's funny.
So I had to explain that he actually couldn't remember anybody's name, and it was in Jamaica you can call anybody darling, man, woman, or child, and or dog, and they sweetheart, exactly. Well, you knew him, so they probably called you sweetheart too.
No.
Yes, but obviously I have a lot of other memories, but let them be.
Tell me a little about your motherhood journey. What it was like raising your kids.
All right. Well, before I became a mother, Butch already had he had 3 boys.
Right.
And so I was, I sort of broke my teeth on motherhood with spending time with them.
Was Brian one of them?
Brian was the eldest, and then Bobby, and then Jonathan.
Oh.
And then I had Jamie, who's a girl, in spite of the name.
Yes,
and Adam, who's my son.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it was wonderful having my own kids. And it was, I found having stepchildren very challenging because they've been raised differently, and you know, you meet a brick wall and you think, well, which way do I go? And it takes a while to get to know each other, but it ended up being absolutely fine. And that was it.
Okay.
So there were 3 boys and then my 2. And then later in life, Butch had 3 more children.
What were they like growing up, your kids? My kids?
Oh, perfect.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. I mean, angels.
Ah, sweet. Sweet.
No, they were, actually they are wonderful people. They really, and a lot of Butch and a lot of myself rubbed off on them in different ways. My son has inherited a lot of Butch's business acumen. My
And
daughter,
that's obvious.
yeah,
We can see that.
my daughter Jamie is very astute and very hardworking and very decisive, which is another side of Butch that
Oh.
people don't sort of necessarily realize. And they're very, you know, I would, from the sort of philanthropic side of life, I would take them downtown and work beside me on things, which wasn't always their favorite thing to do, but they became very understanding of how mixed and complicated life in Jamaica, probably anywhere, is.
Right, that's true.
And they both have hugely generous hearts, and
That's good.
I'm very, very proud of them from that. That's great. I've got good
Yes.
kids. I was blessed.
Great. PJ,
Yes.
you have done a lot of charities in Jamaica. Can you tell me some more about it?
Not
Your
I haven't really. I mean, people are very kind and call me philanthropic, and I'm not really sure what that means. But there's work to be done, and we all have the resources, whether we know it or not. And I mean, one of the things that I've had the most fun with, and has been the most successful, is I work with Father Hulong, which I talked about from the theatrical point of view.
Correct.
But I also spend time in the homes and and I realized there was a need to fundraise for him. And I thought from years ago, how can you fundraise unless it's fun? You know, unless you're doing something that you really, you know, you're not going to get people to participate. I also realized that we have a lot of wealth without realizing it in discarded things from our lifestyle.
True.
Primarily clothes,
True.
but
Tell me
cars,
about
bicycles, all these things which we go through and then we whatever. So we started about 18 years ago. We started something. Myself and a friend of mine, Cheryl May, started a thrift shop which was called Back on the Rack.
Oh.
And everybody said Jamaicans will never buy secondhand clothes, and well, it is unbelievably successful. And of course, life has come full circle, and everybody around the world is recycling. It's now called recycling. It's not called thrift shops. But we do it in a very attractive way. We wash and iron everything. We hang it up. But you get a prom dress or a graduation dress for $500, and most of the things we sell for $300.
Wow.
And
Are you serious?
very serious. And the interesting side of that is that people are also really happy to know that they can give someone their excess,
Right.
and it's going to be put to good use. So we have a constant flow of people coming and dropping things off at our door. And Adam and the Planet Traders have been very generous and given us not given us, but lent us a premises to where we can do this. And we have a slew of volunteers that come. We have our clientele has kind of changed.
Right.
It used to be mostly vendors who would buy and sell our goods, and then COVID came along and we had to close down. And when we opened up, it became a lot more university students. We had a sale a couple of weeks ago, and almost everybody was university students.
That's wonderful.
And
though.
everybody from
That's
uptown,
wonderful.
midtown, downtown comes, and we are able to give a hefty gift to Missionaries of the Poor for their feeding program
Wow.
every month.
Wow, isn't that
So-
amazing?
And it's fun. We have music and
That-
food, and it's like a little festival. So but I enjoy it tremendously.
PJ, I hate to say your family has just experienced two major public tragedies. How does it affect your family dynamic, and basically how you guys are dealing with it?
Well, one of the things you realize is how many other people have suffered death and experienced grief. And it's different for everybody. Everybody reacts differently. We lost Butch, and then Adam lost his beautiful wife, Jilly, who we all adored, and they have 3 young children. So you do practical things like I moved in with Adam to try and help him with the children.
Oh.
So you get on, and it's all
I know
a learning.
It's painful.
It's all a learning curve, because you know, until you've been through it, you really don't know what's ahead of you. It is incredibly painful to watch your child suffer, and I think people who've been there will understand, and I really don't want to talk any more about it.
That's
Okay?
okay.
But we're
That's
fine.
fine. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
Okay, PJ, well, thank you so much for giving me your time to sit and chat and eat.
Right.
I hope you'll consider us spending more time, and I will make sure attend one of your art exhibition
Wonderful.
in the future.
Wonderful. Well,
All
I'll
right,
make sure
thank
you're
you
invited.
so
This has
much.
been a lot of fun. Thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you.
Get tiles and get creative with your floors, walls, and all the spaces in between. Our knowledgeable sales consultants are happy to help create your beautiful finish with the latest designs in first quality porcelain, wood look, vinyl, mosaics, natural stones, and countertops. At Creative, you will get every tile you need for your residential or commercial projects. Creative Building Finishes, your one-stop shop for everything tiles. Visit our showroom at 5 Red Hills Road or call 876-929-5553. Get tiles, get creative.